Bloodlines and Boundaries, the Sacred Line, Unraveling the Zulu Vampire Legacy. Myths shape a cultural identity, and South Africa's Zulu people are no exception. Their myths reflect their spiritual beliefs, their history, and their identity. For the Zulu, the world is filled with spirits and magic. And their myths often feature supernatural elements that play a key role in their culture and traditions. One of the most well-known Zulu myths is that of the creator god, Unkulunkulu, who is said to have created all humans and animals. Another popular legend is that of the great warrior Shaka, who founded the Zulu kingdom in the early 19th century. These legends have been passed down through generations of Zulu people, and they continue to be an important part of their cultural heritage. The Zulu people have a rich tradition of storytelling, and their myths and legends are an important part of their cultural identity. These stories not only entertain, but also teach valuable lessons about life, death, and the relationship between humans and the spirit world. They are an integral part of Zulu society, strengthening the bonds between individuals and the community. For the Zulu people, rituals and ceremonies are an important part of their daily life. These rituals can vary from simple ceremonies to more elaborate ones, but they all serve to connect the Zulu people to their cultural heritage and to the spirit world. One example of a Zulu ritual is the Umjadi, which is a ceremony that is held to welcome a newborn baby into the family and the community. Another example is the Nkwala, which is a 3-day festival that celebrates the Zulu New Year and honors the Zulu kingship. These rituals and ceremonies are not only a way to connect to their heritage, but also a way to ensure the continued well-being of the community. In Zulu culture, spirits play an important role. They are seen as intermediaries between the living and the divine, and are often called upon to help with everyday problems or to provide guidance. This belief in the supernatural is a key part of Zulu culture, and it shapes many aspects of their daily life. For example, every Zulu person has a personal spirit guide that is with them from birth and protects them throughout their life. Additionally, the Zulu believe that the dead can return and interact with the living, and so they have special rituals to honor the dead and to communicate with them. The Zulu people have a rich cultural heritage that is reflected in their myths, legends, and traditions. Their beliefs in the supernatural and their respect for their ancestors are central to their identity and their way of life. If you want to learn more about the Zulu people, I highly recommend checking out the resources provided. Before the arrival of European settlers in South Africa, the Zulu people were a small, independent tribe living in the region. However, as the British began to colonize the area, the Zulu were forced to fight back in order to protect their land and their way of life. Despite being outnumbered and outgunned, the Zulu warriors fought bravely and were able to hold off the British for many years. But eventually, in 1879, the British were victorious in the Anglo-Zulu War, which resulted in the end of Zulu independence and the beginning of British rule in South Africa. One of the most well-known Zulu warriors was Shaka Zulu, who was the founder of the Zulu kingdom. He was a brilliant military strategist, and his tactics were highly effective in battle. Shaka increased the intensity of combat by introducing new weapons and fighting techniques. He also reorganized the Zulu army and implemented a system of checks and balances that made it more efficient and disciplined. Under his leadership, the Zulu people were able to expand their territory and become one of the most powerful tribes in South Africa. The arrival of European settlers in South Africa had a profound impact on the Zulu people. It led to the fracturing of their culture, the destruction of their way of life, and the displacement of their people. The Zulu were forced to live on reservations and were denied basic human rights. This oppression led to the rise of resistance movements. which sought to fight for the rights of the Zulu people and the restoration of their culture. Despite the challenges they faced, the Zulu people were able to maintain their cultural identity and their traditions, and they continue to be an important part of South African society today. Prior to colonization, Zulu warfare was characterized by a strong emphasis on discipline, strategy, and tradition. Battles were typically fought between two opposing forces with clear objectives and battle plans. Warriors were expected to fight with honor and bravery, and there were strict codes of conduct that had to be followed. However, with the introduction of colonialism, traditional Zulu warfare was disrupted, and new forms of violence emerged. The Zulu people were subjected to brutal treatment by colonial forces, and this led to a change in their approach to fighting. What once was a structured and regulated practice became a more personal and brutal affair. The intensity and nature of combat changed, and there was a shift towards guerrilla tactics and hit-and-run missions. This was a response to the oppressive and dehumanizing tactics used by colonial forces, and it was a way for the Zulu people to fight back against their oppressors and defend their land and their way of life. The Mefecon, also known as the Zulu Apocalypse, was a period of intense social and political upheaval in southern Africa that occurred in the early 19th century. It was triggered by a series of devastating droughts that caused widespread famine and led to large-scale migrations of people in search of food and water. During this time, the Zulu Kingdom, along with other Bantu-speaking groups, embarked on a series of aggressive military campaigns that resulted in the displacement and decimation of numerous smaller tribes and chieftainships. The Zulu leader, Shaka Zulu, played a significant role in the Mafeking, and his military innovations and ruthless tactics contributed to the destruction of many rival groups. However, it's important to note that the Mafeking was not solely caused by the Zulu people, and other factors such as environmental change and the introduction of new technologies also played a significant role. As we delve deeper into this narrative, we will explore themes of heritage and identity, the struggles of a people trying to hold on to their cultural roots in the face of oppression, and the concept of bloodlines and boundaries. Additionally, we will highlight the supernatural elements of Zulu culture and the role of ancestral spirits in the community. Furthermore, we will examine personal battles with vampiric influences and the protagonist's journey to uncover the truth about his heritage. And finally, we will discuss the implications of demonic encounters in modern narratives and how they shape our understanding of good and evil. This is a story about a black Zulu African man named Shaka. He has an interesting appearance with braided hair. He is a vampire from a Zulu tribe that existed during colonization. The story revolves around Shaka's journey to discover more about his vampire origin, who created him, and why his bloodline is so sacred. There's a sense that witches and demons are involved, adding a layer of mystery and intrigue to the narrative. And this is the first episode of his story. Let me know what you think about it. Do you believe in vampires? Have you ever encountered a supernatural being? Share your thoughts in the comments. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on any of our videos. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.